the most exciting game you'll ever see on your TV set. Telstar by Coleco.
Ah, video games. Video games were all the rage back in the 1970s and early 80s, and thanks to a little entertainment system from Nintendo, video games survived the crash of 1983 and have thrived through the turn of the millennium.
Survival or destruction. To battle or die.
Through those years, iconic companies such as Atari, Sega, and of course Nintendo became household names and became a big part of our lives, and for most, their childhood.
Sit down, rodent.
Sarah, baby. Oh, you were one fly.
Don't make me hurt you.
Now video games are high-tech marvels with graphics so realistic they're approaching the uncanny valley. Scary. Video games have become a permanent fixture in our culture. Everywhere you turn, there's a new hardware device, a next-gen game being released, game shops and retro gaming shops popping up everywhere, hundreds of expos, TV shows about games, big money video game tournaments being televised on major cable networks.
Team Liquid, take down the reigning world champs.
And streamers making hundreds of thousands of dollars while becoming virtual celebrities overnight, playing their favorite video games on services such as Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, and Facebook without ever having to leave the luxury of their own home.
Wait, Ninja.
Yo.
Ninja, is this you?
Dude. Yes.
What the heck?
And walking into some of these video game rooms is like walking into a high-tech studio, while other rooms feel like something out of a fantastical, nostalgic childhood dream. My mission is to seek out new gaming technologies and find out what makes some of the world's most passionate video gamers and influencers tick.
Who is Ninja Twitch? Oh, I'm just a streamer on Twitch that plays video games, man.
We're also going to show you the biggest, most amazing video game rooms in the world. I'm Scott Galaxy, and this is my life as a video gamer. Today I'm in Washington State, and I'm on my way to see one of the biggest collections of retro video games in the country, and one of the biggest social media figures in the gaming community.
My name is John Hancock. I'm a teacher. I live in Longview, Washington, and I love retro video games. Come on in.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the Room of Doom.
This is the Room of Doom.
Room of Doom.
My goodness.
So I define collecting video games starting with having more than what you can play. When I started collecting and being successful at it, I really enjoyed the hobby. I really enjoyed going out to flea marts and experiencing, the hunt, the find, but also finding things and really enjoying what I was purchasing. And I knew it was just something I found enjoyment doing.
How many games do you actually have in here?
Oh, probably like the 12 to 15,000 range. I have 31 complete North American game collections. But I don't want to go for things I don't care about. Like, I'm really passionate about the older stuff and stuff I grew up with. You can't repeat that with the newer games. There's a simple sound, or it's a simple gameplay aspect, a single screen. And that really has a great feeling to me. I still enjoy playing Pong. It's a simple game. It's emulated on everything, but playing it on original hardware, especially like on an old TV, you can't duplicate that. I've calculated if I was to play all of my games, it would take over 30 years. Choosing a different game every day.
What's the oldest console you have? Do you know? This one?
Audit Magnavox Odyssey 1. Very first console, 1972.
1970. I wasn't even a thought yet.
The most misunderstood thing about being a collector is that collecting is not just for one category of people anymore. I think people typecast collectors as nerds, or let's say, do you live with your mom? Do you have a life? Oh, you're rich, or you're hoarding. And so it's just, you have to get thick skin and just understand that people aren't trying to be mean. They're trying to put you in a box, because that's what we do. We see something and we have to fit it into category. John Hancock here, and I'm here with my son Justice. You say hello?
Hi. What do your kids think about all this?
They love it. They've been around it. So I think part of the issue is that my children don't know anything different. So it's abnormal, but they don't know that. So this is my Nintendo wall, or one of them.
And what is the most expensive Nintendo game you have? Do you even know?
Probably stadium events.
Stadium events is
Loose,
the most
it's like
expensive?
$10,000.
$10,000.
With box, probably in the $30,000 to $40,000 range.
So I see some stuff over here. What's on this other wall?
Sega and some other things.
Sega and some other things. That sounds intriguing. How many games are in the Sega Genesis?
Well over 700.
So you have well over 700 games here for the Sega Genesis.
Yes, just for Genesis. I have weird Laserdisc video games.
These are video games?
Yeah, these are video games on Laserdisc.
How do you play how do you even play this?
On a Laser Active.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard that this isn't your only room.
Oh no.
You've got like
One more.
more stuff.
Yeah, I got a little room I can show you.
Now, because John's 300 square foot converted garage wasn't enough to hold his growing collection, he had to build on an addition to his home. In here he streams and puts together most of his video game videos, but you can also find some of his most prized possessions in here as well. Then this is amazing. See a lot of Atari.
Yes, and Pong, and Commodore, and Coleco.
Now you're a teacher, you said.
Yeah, I teach second grade.
Second grade. What do your second graders think?
They care more about my subscriber count than how many video games I have. He's got a big channel, or he's got a lot of games, but he's got even more subscribers, you know? And so they say stuff like that, or like, you know, he's famous or something. It's funny.
Do they think you're cool? Do they think you're the cool guy?
They think I'm cool for a teacher, I think. I don't know if they think I'm cool. I have a very tame, I would say tame channel that, you know, I don't try to do a lot of things with drama or even M-rated games, mature rated games on my YouTube channel. And what I love about teaching about video games on my YouTube channel is that I have an endless supply of things. Like I get excited like about teaching somebody something they never knew about. And I love getting those comments saying, I would have never known about this unless you talked about it. So that's great. But John isn't collecting just to collect. He has a bigger goal that ties in his love for games and education. There's only 3 or 4 of these that have surfaced that I've seen in 30 years.
This is very rare.
My long-term goal is to have a video game museum for my complete collections. My goal for the museum moving forward is to have the nonprofit up this year and then to start seriously pursuing private funding. And while John loves being a part of some of the biggest video game expos in and outside the country, he wanted to do more with his newfound fame. I was part of a bigger convention, Portland Retro Gaming Expo. I was one of the original organizers for 6 years. I decided to step down and do a smaller show, and I wanted to have kind of a fundraising aspect to it. So I created Cowlitz Gamers for Kids, and in 2010 I did this small little video game expo and raised funds for nonprofits in the area and raised over $100,000 in the last 10 years.
We got in early, so let's go check out John Hancock over here. Buddy, good to see you.
Great.
Tell people what you have here today.
All right.
What's this fine product that you have?
The most satisfying thing about being a collector is the lifelong friends that I've met in the community, and you know, it's really a smaller community than people realize. And so there's people I've seen 20 years, you know, at conventions or just Facebook messaging or email or on online forums, and like they're good friends. Like if they called me up or they emailed me or texted me needing something, I would do it for them. You know, they're good friends.
John, I have to admit, this is more impressive than I thought it would be.
Oh.
And I knew it was going to be impressive, so you've just knocked it out of the park. I want to thank you so much for
anytime.
having us out
Thanks.
here. Totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
John Hancock, the immortal John Hancock, and his amazing collection. And we're going to play some games.
All right, let's
we're
do
not
it.
leaving.
Let's
we're
do
going
it.
to cut down, but we're going to play.
Okay.
We're gonna play.
All right.
After John and I played some games for a few hours, it was time for me to say goodbye and head to my next stop in Washington's Emerald City, Seattle, the headquarters for some of the biggest companies in the gaming industry. We'll get a VIP tour of Microsoft Studios from none other than the company's main man himself, Bill Gates. Then we'll head across town to speak to Nintendo of America's leading man, Doug Bowser, to get an exclusive look at the gaming giant's latest video game technology.
We're all about making great games for a variety of experiences.
But if you want to talk about epic video game rooms, this is epic.
Once upon a time, there was an 8-year-old boy who loved video games so much he wanted to play them all. Then, at the age of 12, he told his mother he wanted to collect them all. That was 32 years ago. Hi, my name is Joel, and welcome to my games room.
It's all coming up next on My Life as a Video Gamer.